Let's prepare to set up and run an IV curve trace. We have some parameters set here. Our limit is set to 2 milliamps. We don't need to go any higher than that to see what we want to see. The sweep range goes from -1 volt to +1 volt. This covers the range for the internal diode. Our resolution is 100 millivolts, so there will be 20 measurement points for each pin tested. Now we start the test. You see the progress report on the screen. Already it jumps from 0 to 8 pins tested, then 8 to 16 pins, and now it's finished. Why was this so fast? Because we have 2 of the DC-128 boards in this CurveMaster, and we have wired the DUT board in such a way as to utilize all 8 of the SMUs on these boards. This means that we can measure 8 pins at once in parallel. Notice that the execution time for all 18 pins is less than 14 seconds. That means our execution time is less than 1 second per pin. You may ask, if I have 180 pins, will it take 10 times longer to execute? Not necessarily. You may have more of the DC-128 boards, say 6 or 8. This means that you may have 32 or even 64 pins being measured at the same time. Even with a high pin count device, you can see fast test times. Instead of 1 second per channel, you may see an average of 100 milliseconds per channel execution time. You've seen how fast it can measure. Let's see how slow it is using the single pin mode. Now, instead of going from 0 to 8, it's going 1, 2, 3, and so on. Even though the execution time per pin is the same, we are measuring only 1 pin at a time, so the overall execution time will be much longer. Generally, it is not necessary to run in single pin mode, but there may be some cases where certain pins must be measured one at a time. This is when the batch mode of testing becomes very useful. You can create separate tests where the pins that can be tested in parallel are in one test, achieving maximum throughput. The pins that need single pin mode are in another test. This achieves both maximum flexibility and minimum test time. This concludes the IV setup and run video.